This is English shorthand dictation number 198 and the dictation speed is 140 words per minute. Ready? Start. Sir, the motion and the amendments raise two questions. Last time when I moved the motion, my honorable friend asked for some information to be given to the House with regard to the constitution of the utilization branch of the Geological Survey of India. As the House will remember, on the very next day, the honorable friend had tabled a question with regard to the very same question. In the course of my reply, I gave some information with regard to the utilization branch, and I do not know whether my honorable friend and the rest of the members of this House desire any more information with regard to this branch. But I see that there is probably some information which it was not possible for me to give to the House by reason of the fact that it could not be put either as answer to the main question or because of the peculiar nature of the supplementary questions that were asked on that day. I propose to give to the House some information now which I was not able to convey to it the other day. The first thing that I wish to refer from the point of view of information is the duties of the utilization branch, which I did not mention that day. I should like to inform the House that according to the constitution of the utilization branch, it will have three main duties. Firstly, to carry out the necessary field work for providing mineral deposits. Secondly, to initiate, where necessary, preliminary mining operations. And thirdly, conduct experimental work as may be necessary to solve problems in ore smelting and other problems of production that may be capable of solution by the utilization of India's minerals. Those are the duties of the utilization branch. The third question on which my honorable friend wanted information was the relationship in which the utilization branch stands to the Board of Scientific and Industrial Research. Now, sir, the position is this. The Board of Scientific and Industrial Research deals with three things, namely inventions, heavy chemicals, and naturally occurring salts. The utilization branch deals with the discovery of minerals and proving them. Obviously, their functions are different. At the same time, there is a certain amount of interrelationship between the Board of Scientific and Industrial Research and the utilization branch, and the interrelation has been brought about in this way. The in charge of the Geological Survey of India is the chairman of the Committee on Heavy Chemicals, which is working under the Board of Scientific and Industrial Research. On the other hand, the director of Board of Scientific and Industrial Research is a member of the advisory committee to the utilization branch of the Geological Survey. Secondly, by this arrangement, the House will see that exchange between the two departments has been arranged. There were two other questions to which my honorable friend referred. They were by way of criticism of government's actions. He stated that there was a neglect of India's mineral resources, and secondly, he suggested that the utilization branch was started more for the purpose of providing occupation for evacuees from Burma. Now, sir, with regard to the first question, I say I regret as much as my honorable friend does that the question of the development of India's mineral resources was not taken in hand earlier than it was done. But I think my honorable friend realizes that there were three principal difficulties in the way of India's undertaking a project such as the one we have now undertaken, namely the establishment of the utilization branch. It is to be admitted that up to the present time, the Geological Survey of India did not have official mining personnel. Unfortunately, the Geological Survey of India followed the functions which the Geological Survey in England had followed, namely to act merely as an inspectorate of mines rather than as a technical body of experts who were engaged in developing the mineral resources of India. Secondly, there is a certain amount of shyness in the mineral exploitation due to the risks involved in opening up mineral deposits. There was a general belief prevalent in India, probably due to long disuse of mining operations in the country, that India was not well endowed with minerals other than those which were suitable for export, such as manganese and mica. What I would submit to the House and to my honorable friend is that while we may regret that we have not tackled the business much earlier than we have done, whether it is not a case where one ought to say that better late than never. With regard to the question of the employment of Burmese evacuees, I would like to point out to my honorable friend as well as to the House that in this matter we really had no choice. As I told my honorable friend, we have been suffering from lack of official mining personnel. Burma was the only place where mining of lead and zinc was carried on at a large scale. Burma is the only place where mining engineers were trained. Consequently, rather than saying that we have opened this branch to give employment to Burmese evacuees, I think the correct interpretation would be to say that it is because we were able to use the services of the Burmese evacuees that we have been able to undertake this project, which I have no doubt is going to be not merely an item in India's war effort, but is going to be one of the greatest things for the future of India. Sir, turning to the question of the amendments, one thing I would like to say is that I am really very glad that these amendments have been made. I can now say that the account which I have given of the utilization branch is so convincing that those who came to scoff have remained to pray. But the temple is a very small one, and although I welcome the enthusiasm of the worshippers, I cannot allow this small temple to be so overcrowded as to leave no breathing space. I am sorry I cannot accept the amendments. I am sorry I have to oppose these amendments. I will tell the House exactly the reasons which have dictated this policy. I would like to draw the attention of the honorable members who have moved these amendments to bear in mind that this committee is not an executive committee. It is not a committee which can take decisions, and therefore anything that is done in this committee is not going to commit this House one way or the other. It is purely an advisory committee. The second thing, which in my judgment presents a stronger reason than the first, arises out of the object of the committee. The object of the committee is to bring together experts and representatives of trade and industry together. That is the primary object of this committee. I would like to draw the attention of honorable members to the composition which has been devised for this particular committee in order that this principal object may be achieved. Sir, there are altogether 16 members on this committee as planned for the present. The House will see that what has been done is to put 5 experts on the committee and to put 5 representatives of trade and industry along with them. First of all, there is the Director of Geological Survey of India. Then there is the Director of the Board of Scientific and Industrial Research. They constitute a body of experts who will sit on this committee. Then, as representatives of trade and industry, we have given 2 seats to the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. We have given 2 seats to steel industry, and we have the Secretary of the Commerce Department to represent the Commerce Department on this committee. From this, the House will see that the object of the committee is really to bring experts who will tell the industrialists and the representatives of the trade what minerals they are in a position to prove, and the representatives of trade and industry will tell the experts how they could be commercially exploited. Now, sir, If the House bears in mind that this is the principal object of this committee, there is really not much scope left for the inclusion of what I might call general opinion in the country.